Hi there, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Today we've got John here from Greenshades to talk about what does a modern in-house payroll solution look like. So I'll throw it over to you, John.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Appreciate the intro. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar today. I know we're October, getting into November. It's a busy time, so I appreciate everyone taking some time out, learning potentially some things about Greenshades and specifically about our modern unified payroll and HR platform. Specifically excited to be joining up with Encore Business Solutions. We've actually been partners together going back to the, I guess, kind of early mid-aughts, and we are very fortunate to be working together hand in hand with a few dozen shared clients. We have been providing technology solutions at Greenshades within the Dynamics ecosystem for a few decades now. So really the purpose today is to introduce our platform with the modern functionality, the modern workflows to those in the community who really haven't had that chance to learn about it just yet. As far as the agenda today, do some quick introductions on Greenshades, also myself. From there, we'll cover the cornerstones of our modern payroll and HR platform, why you should trust Greenshades for payroll and HR. And then we'll go into some more of the details about the platform, what we can deliver, how you can benefit from our unified payroll and HR platform moving forward as well. I do actually have a few legal notes right off the bat. Generally we're providing some pretty high level insights and guidance. So of course, please don't construe what we're discussing today as legal advice. As always, when it comes to the topics of compliance, of human resources, check with your legal counsel, check with your accounting group. On top of that, though, we actually do have a partnership with a provider called My HR Counsel. They provide HR and legal advice. So, if you're interested in, leveraging their expertise, having an additional sounding board, running kind of a unique situation by some folks that, might have some know-how, just let us know and we can, get you in touch with the folks over there. My name is John Osberger. I'm an account executive here at Greenshades. As mentioned, Encore has been an extremely valued partner of ours at Greenshades over the years, and I have the opportunity to manage that relationship, support them clients as well. I've been with Greenshades for just under 2 years, so I kind of came into the thick of things around year-end form time in January of 2020. Outside of that, I do have a pretty diverse background with business software and technology sales. Previously, I've helped clients in the areas of networking, security, unified communications and collaboration, analytics, fintech. And before that, in a previous life, as I like to put it, I was in retail sales and operations management. So for the folks who have some familiarity with some of the names there at the bottom, I was in the state capitol, I was in a college town, so I've had the opportunity to work with some, pretty notable folks over the years. I know that the name Steve Spurrier may not, mean a lot in Canada, American college football coach, but if it wasn't for Steve Spurrier, Jesse Palmer, a fellow Canadian, probably would not be where he is today. But anyway. So a little bit about Greenshades. At Greenshades, our focus is on providing solutions for companies that process payroll in-house so that their payroll and HR processes are as efficient and as compliant as possible. I know there's some folks listening in that are familiar with Greenshades, but for those who are not, we've been doing this since the early 2000s. Our 4,000 plus clients today rely on us to be proactively keeping pace with regulatory changes, from the federal to the state down to the local levels. And our experience, our expertise over the years has culminated into our flagship offering today, the Greenshades Unified Payroll and HR platform, which we'll be going into full detail and sharing a bit about how its modern functionality, modern workflows can help organizations of all size and scope. Alrighty, so as far as the cornerstone of that platform, there's a few pillars to it, and really lend itself to kind of a modern experience, and why you can actually trust Greenshades, with confidence when it comes to managing payroll and HR. First off the bat is a simple, common sense interface that just makes sense for all of our clients as a company, whether you're currently dealing with an embedded payroll module that just hasn't kept pace with how people work today, or you're considering moving payroll back in-house and just want to ensure it's easily adopted, not only at the admin, but also at the employee level. Greenshades is going to have you covered with this platform. And even though we are an in-house platform, we are a cloud offering. It's hosted, it's web-based. So that means you as a payroll or HR admin and your employees can both benefit from a payroll and HR solution that is going to be accessible anywhere, which obviously today is extremely important as more and more people work remotely, work from home. On top of that, that overall browser-based portal experience is just consistent with how people use technology today, whether it's professionally, whether it's personally. People are just used to that browser experience. Plus, on top of that, obviously, just with any hosted cloud-based offering, you'll have the opportunity to take advantage of auto updates and regular enhancements of features and functionality. So whenever there is a new offering, that's going to be available in the platform once it's released. As an example, I don't know if anyone here has seen a recent press release from us. We just recently announced that we're going to be introducing some enhanced functionality around tracking and managing certifications, licenses, vaccination status. So once that's available, you don't have to worry about updating on-premise software. It's going to be made available to you as an end user. And then this is always a good time of the year to point out the fact that we are handling all those tax updates for you on the back end just throughout the year. You don't have to worry about the kind of the year-end process and allocating time and resources for that as well. Additionally, we are ERP agnostic, which is extremely important because the amount of cloud-based ERP options that are out there is constantly growing. Obviously, there's offerings from Microsoft, and they are tracking to kind of be that norm for ERPs as opposed to on-premise software. So, whether you're happily locked in your current ERP or accounting package for the long term, if you're considering making a change, you can be confident that Greenshades is going to be future-proof and will continue to be a valuable partner for you and your payroll processes. And also, very important, we are a unified solution, a unified experience that can support not only the payroll and HR teams, but also drive some employee self-service and engagement. So you can rely on a single destination, a single platform, just to help with streamline management, just to make a more enjoyable experience from the admin down to the employee level. Also, compliance is at the core of what we do with the platform. It's at the core of all the solutions that we provide. Our clients need to trust Greenshades that we're going to kind of have their back when it comes to compliance, again, from the federal down to the local level. Last but not least, part of a modern experience is making sure that you are providing a high level of support. Our clients trust Greenshades. We have extremely high NPS, customer feedback scores within the industry. And a lot of that is going to be based on the exceptional customer support we provide. All right, so at this point, kind of cover the high level, bullet points. I'm going to, walk you through, some of the more detailed information about the platform, how we're delivering on these concepts. First and foremost, we are providing a simplified process. When you approach payroll and HR, we want to do so in introducing modern workflows in that, simple experience. So the interface itself, it's not only logical, common sense from day one, but the layout, the functionality is going to be consistent throughout the process. So we're going to help not only that seasoned payroll pro run payroll a lot more efficiently, we can also eliminate that learning curve for those that are just starting out or the staff that's now responsible after bringing payroll back in-house. Very important to provide a simple process because we are seeing a lot of our clients have smaller staff when it comes to payroll and HR. So there are folks more so now than ever that are involved with payroll, whether it's as a kind of regular hands-on assistance or as a backup that just don't have that payroll experience. Maybe they're coming from the HR side of the house, another department. So we want to provide a kind of a nice logical workflow and experience for those folks. So there also is a step-by-step wizard. It's going to walk you through the process to ensure that nothing is missed. And on top of that, at any point in the process, you can go back, make any sort of adjustments, additions, changes, and save yourself from having to scrap the pay run over and start from scratch all over again. And really underneath the process, helping to automate that workflow is going to be the persistent and robust employee self-service. So as employees are onboarded, as they change benefit elections, clock in, clock out, submit their timesheets, have those approved by managers or admins. All of that information is not only being captured from an HR standpoint, but it's also going to flow through the platform and into the pay run to where our clients that are leveraging Greenshades for benefits management and time entry, the pay run process is really going to be more of a review and verify as opposed to a lot of entries or uploads or kind of like a hands-on. It's going to be a very simplified process. All right, so part of also providing a modern experience is providing a high level of visibility, whether it's kind of in real time, whether it's from a reporting standpoint. So one thing that we wanted to do when developing the platform is bring in improved visibility across the board. So everything that you need to move forward or look back from a payroll standpoint is going to be right there at your fingerprints within the payroll dashboard. So when you're managing the payroll process, it's not always just about starting a pay run. If you're supporting, multiple pay schedules, supporting multiple groups, it's always nice to have an idea of what's coming up. So we'll give you that visibility. And while we do have a very comprehensive and growing reporting section that includes customer reports, individual favorites, you can also quickly access the payroll-specific suite of reports while in the dashboard itself. Main reason why we have that is because we do have delegated administrative capabilities. So some people, based on their experience, they're going to be in the payroll dashboard, pretty regularly. Other admins, maybe they're not hands-on with payroll. Maybe they're going to be using Greenshades and being an administrator for other purposes. So by having reporting accessible to the payroll folks within the payroll dashboard, also within more of the general reporting section, it's going to be very efficient and accessible to get the information that you're looking for. Alrighty. Additionally, from an organizational standpoint, you're now also not only going to have very specific, roles and responsibilities for folks, but every organization themselves has, different structures, different priorities, their own desired workflows, and it's really important that the payroll and HR experience can be tailored to support all those differences from organization to organization. So inherently, each of our customers is going to have a view that reflects exactly what they're going to use Greenshades for. So for the individual admins and users, again, their experience is going to mirror the people and the departments that they're also responsible for, the functionality that they need, again, going back to all of their specific responsibilities. Additionally, that tailored experience is also going to apply to all the various earnings codes, benefit and deduction codes for payroll, even down to the employee level as well. And the tailored updates that you apply, whether again on the HR side of the house or during the payroll process, are going to flow, throughout the system. So with a cloud-based platform, it's automatic, it's simultaneous, it's going to eliminate that need for redundant work and manual entry as well. We can also help make the payroll process a bit more painless with real-time error prevention. Proactively, we're actually assigning, all those various tax codes, all the appropriate earning codes, based on the employee and the work they did. So regardless of whether they are going to be leveraging kind of the default standard rates for an earning code, if they have an employee-specific rate, if they are allocating their time to different departments, divisions, the system is going to go ahead and take all that to account and apply it for you during the process. We're also going to be providing alerts during each step on possible errors that could impact the pay run and, of course, overall compliance. We want to make sure that folks can actually get that information in real time, address it before it actually becomes an issue. We're also going to provide some warnings throughout the process on not only what we would consider errors, but maybe some data that needs an eye on. So, for instance, if you're assigning an earning code to an employee who typically does not get that earning code, we'll give you a heads up. Could be legitimate, could be fine. If so, you can move on. But we at least want to let people know what's going on just to make sure that there aren't any mistakes or errors. Okay, and so as mentioned before, these notifications on errors, on warnings, they give you that opportunity to review and update information on the fly, prevent those issues, prevent you from having to do some corrections post-payroll, give the opportunity to kind of handle things in a very timely manner. Okay, now there are also several ways to validate time entry in the pay run. Obviously time entry is extremely important to payroll. If you're dealing with hourly folks, that's going to be pretty much driving the pay run to begin with. So at the employee level, we can note and flag work hour deviations. We can provide work week by work week hours to help you understand root cause if there are some outliers as far as total hours, as far as at the employee level as well. We can even provide a quick comp to the previous pay run, so you can help get some assistance. You can identify any possible information that needs to be updated as well. So by providing these notifications, by providing you some insight into hours worked, again, we can help you review, address any sort of concerns before they become actual headaches post payroll. All right, and so once you actually go through the process of running payroll, once you've concluded things, you'll actually have some flexibility with some of those post-payroll actions as well. You'll have an opportunity to review overall totals, individual employee breakdowns, even make some last-minute updates, and edits to make sure that everything is accurate and compliant. You can even make some ad hoc changes specific to the pay run without having to constantly, change settings, back and forth. So, is this a pay run for a holiday bonus and you want to get everyone a check in hand rather than direct deposit? Do you want Greenshades to handle the printing and mailing of those, handful of employees that still get paychecks and pay stubs for just this pay run? So you'll have that flexibility to go ahead and, handle those on a pay run by pay run basis. Again, rather than having to go back and make any sort of settings change and going back and reset it after the fact. We'll give you the options when they're needed. Additionally, if you're making those updates kind of during your final review, we'll even allow you to do it on the pay stub level, so you can dig into each employee. You can make those edits. Just because you're doing on the paycheck doesn't mean it's just going to be siloed there. Again, any sort of updates, any sort of new information, additions, revisions, all of that is actually going to kind of flow back through the rest of the payroll process, because change in earnings could affect benefits and deductions. A change in time will affect earnings. So there's a lot of variables in play, and we can kind of help address those for you again on the fly. And then whether you have that seasoned payroll pro or someone who is again kind of jumping in from another department, another side of the house to help out on payroll, we will provide a checklist to make sure that they have what they need to wrap up the process, dig into post-payroll reports, just have that information that a lot of folks want to have as they are completing the pay run. So we'll provide deposit pay and ACH file reports, liabilities, benefit and deduction totals, breakdown on garnishments, which we can help manage at the employee level and then during pay run as well. All of that is actually going to be centralized as part of that post-payroll checklist. All right, and also, I've mentioned it a few times already. Compliance is one of the primary reasons why our clients work with Greenshades. They're not experts on compliance, especially this day and age when it seems like there are new regulations and requirements, coming down the pike, especially at the federal level right now. and they want to leverage the fact that Greenshades, is an expert in these areas. So regardless of whether you operate and employ locally, if you do it regionally, nationally, we can automatically assign appropriate taxes at all levels. We can even manage the multiple jurisdictions. We can manage the state reciprocity arrangements for you from a strategic perspective as well. Internally, we actually have a group dedicated specifically to compliance. A lot of providers, a lot of options. They'll kind of have product and compliance kind of joined together, kind of in a single role. That's not us. We have a specific department for product. We have a specific department for compliance. So we're going to stay on top of regulatory changes. We're going to stay on top of those changing requirements, and we're going to ensure that our customers don't have to worry about it themselves. Okay, so we're not going to, sacrifice compliance for product or vice versa. So when we develop the product, whether it is to address a specific compliance need, such as a change with the 941, or if we're developing new functionality that's going to add value to like the payroll and HR experience, we're also still going to make sure that what we deliver to our clients is actually going to be compliant as well. So by providing this foundation, you can be confident that not only are your returns going to be flawless and compliant, but just that overall experience is going to be as well. And you can just really rely on Greenshades for that. All right, so on the return topic, of course, you'll be able to leverage Greenshades for creating, viewing, editing these returns. You can handle your unemployment, your withholding, your new hire returns, all those different reports, again, at the federal down to the state level. With each return, you have the ability to do those reviews, do those edits, so you'll have that additional layer of accuracy and risk mitigation. Once they're created, the interface is going to provide an option to directly e-file federal returns, while also detailing step-by-step how to file state and local returns as well. We also do have premium options to help generate deadlines around filings and payments, actually handle the e-filings and payments at not just the federal but the state levels, and then also have access to a dedicated tax support representative. So, one of the keys to our platform is it's not an all or nothing type solution. We can provide a solution that is going to make sense for our clients, not only to handle the payroll processing, but also as far as payroll tax compliance, as far as on the HR side of the house as well. So for our customers that want some additional resources, some additional automation when it comes to the return topic, we can actually provide that as well. So that could be very attractive to our clients who have to manage returns for a variety of states, a variety of municipalities, and want as many resources as possible to help out. Currently, and really over the past 18 months, with more and more organizations, hiring folks that may not live, in near an office, working remotely, working in states they've never, had employees in before, that can be a pretty valuable resource. Okay, so I know that up to this point, as far as the experience, the modern workflows, the focus has been on the admin side of the house. Focus on that experience is also going to continue with our employee portal to help out employees with self-service, with empowerment as well of their information. So employees can take advantage of their self-service, whether they're pulling up pay stubs, grabbing W-2s for their own filings, their 1095s or W-2s, clocking in, clocking out, submitting a time off request, or even reviewing new communication from the company, new documents. We can help support that with employee empowerment. And then by delivering this level of employee access, employees are essentially going to be encouraged and empowered to handle self-service of their own HR tasks. So by offering these options, we can do so through a web browser. We can also do so through an app, iOS, Android. Employees can just download that. By giving them the options, employees are going to be much more likely to take advantage of self-service and handling some of these tasks on their own, and really help out with kind of offloading some of the responsibilities with the payroll and HR admin. Inherently, some clients are just going to prefer to use a browser. Some employees are just going to be, have a preference to use the app. So by providing both methods, employees are just going to be more likely to adopt and use these solutions. And at the end of the day, by employees handling some of the self-service, they'll have more control, they'll have more confidence in the information, and then by having that independence, payroll and HR, they're going to spend less time on administrative tasks as well. Alrighty. So outside of kind of from the return standpoint, the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly management that you might have, year-end processing can also be a pretty stressful time for payroll and HR. And we are kind of getting to that time of year where, people are kind of thinking about 1099s and W-2s and 1095s. Obviously, with all of those, you have your strict deadlines for 1099 specifically. You've got MISC, you've got NEC, DIV, R. There's about 8 or 10 different types of 1099s that you might have to take into account. So it can be a pretty stressful time. Greenshades, however, can transform this into really more of a step-by-step process that walks you through the critical to-do items of all those different form types and really provide turnkey form processing services like print and mail. So you can leave all that heavy lifting of the year-end form process to Greenshades. You can focus on all those other priorities that you have, not just with your day-to-day, but inherently you're going to have a bunch of kind of recurring responsibilities and activities that are involved with closing out the old year and moving into the new one as well. So outside of just kind of that experience, I've mentioned this already, but we can be a great fit for folks that work with Encore and are part of that overall Microsoft ecosystem. We are future-proof, we're ERP agnostic, so with Greenshades, you can have your payroll and HR needs met today. You can address those current concerns, those current issues, regardless of the ERP or accounting package that you have in place. But if you are having those conversations about moving to a platform like Business Central or F&O, or maybe you've already made that decision, maybe you're already embarking on that transition, you can trust that Greenshades is going to be that valuable payroll and HR resource for you because we can kind of travel that path along with you, regardless of where you are in that ERP lifecycle. Mentioned earlier also about customer support. We've been providing these solutions for years and years and years, and our average client tenure right now is right around 11 years. Big factor in that is the fact that we do provide a superior level of support compared to the rest of the industry. We have a diverse array of services and support that are available. We have premium concierge support. We have client dedicated levels, and it's all provided by in-house experts as it relates to technical and client support. We don't have what you would consider tier 1 support at Greenshades, where you're essentially just speaking with a rep who's going to take a message and pass it along. When you chat with someone at Greenshades, it's essentially going to be what you would consider like a tier 2 or tier 3 support. Again, so from a support standpoint, all these folks are in-house. So when you chat with someone, it is going to be someone that is a Greenshades employee, which provides a lot of value. All right. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor. Appreciate you all listening in to the overview of our payroll platform. So if anyone has any questions, we'll give folks a moment. And so send them in to Melissa, and we'll just see what we have to address.
Yeah, I have a couple questions here that have come in. I can just read those out.
Sure.
Okay, first one, can you explain a little about the implementation process?
Sure, I'm glad that came up, because when you implement a new solution, you want to have some confidence within the process. There are cost factors, there are time frame factors, so kind of dig into that a little bit. So right now, typically with our clients, the time frame to go live is 8 to 12 weeks. There are some variables involved with that. As I mentioned earlier, there are going to be some, we're not an all-or-one solution, so we're going to have some platform packages that make sense for our clients based on a compliance and filing standpoint, and also from an HR standpoint as well. So that's why we have the range of 8 to 12 weeks, depending on the level of services you have within our payroll platform. That'll kind of drive what that time frame looks like. Now, the nice thing with Greenshades is that, we are a unified platform, and this platform was purpose-built on top of all those great Greenshades solutions that we've been providing for years and years and years. So for folks that are listening right now, for other folks that we work with that have Greenshades online products, in a lot of those situations, some of the implementation has already been done because the services that they have today will just translate right over to the platform. Employees will still go to the same app, they'll still go to the same browser, admins will still go to the same administrative interface, all the settings will carry over. So we've actually had some migrations to the payroll platform where our clients have only had to essentially handle implementation around the payroll processing because they're already using this for benefits and time entry. So they're just focusing on topics such as making sure that earnings and benefit codes and GL settings are set up as far as the payroll process, which is nice. Additionally, from an implementation standpoint, from a cost standpoint, we don't have any upfront implementation fees. Our solution is a very simple per employee per month model. So you don't have to worry about those large costs up front, whether it has to do with capital costs that you might see with an on-prem solution or kind of that big check you have to write for implementation. For us, as part of the model, implementation is just the cost of doing business. And as mentioned before, we are ERP agnostic. So right now we're actually deploying with some clients on GP that we know are going to be moving to Business Central in the extremely near future. That's just fine with us. We will deploy, taking into account that they're working with GP today, and then when they're ready to pull that trigger and deploy Business Central, they're just going to let us know, and we'll go ahead and just make the appropriate revisions and implement for Business Central. So pretty simple.
Great, thanks. I've got one more question here. How does your payroll integrate with the Microsoft ERPs?
Okay, so there are going to be some minor differences. I'll use kind of GP and Business Central as a two example. Given the fact that we have been entrenched with the Microsoft ecosystem, for many years, and a lot of our clients are on GP, we are deploying a lot of our payroll platforms, I should say, with GP. And for those folks, and folks might be listening today, they have been leveraging historically our connector, our sync between Greenshades and GP. Beauty of the payroll platform is the fact that it can still leverage that sync. So it's a very nice, comprehensive, robust integration between the two platforms. We're still going to have that up and down sync between Greenshades and GP. Business Central, it's going to be a little different. With Business Central, Greenshades is essentially going to be that ruling party for managing payroll and HR. Bit of a different integration with Business Central. We actually have a specific integrated web call that can be set up between the two platforms. We'll handle that during the implementation process. It's not a major concern at all. It's a pretty simple process that we follow to get that set up. And then once deployed, and you use Greenshades to manage payroll and HR, post payroll, it's actually going to go ahead and drop the journal, the GL into Business Central automatically, and it's accessible for you to go ahead and just kind of bring into the Business Central platform. So we have a couple ways of supporting Microsoft ERPs today.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for answering those questions, John, and thanks for presenting to us today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and thanks to everyone else for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, and I personally want to thank everyone as well. Thanks for taking time out. Appreciate it. Now, obviously what I've provided today is kind of very high level, kind of a general overview. I mentioned before, pretty much every organization is unique in how they manage things. So, this is essentially just a starting point. If you're having challenges with the payroll process, if you're part of those folks that are migrating to a new ERP, or even if it's just a situation where you haven't assessed your processes, your systems in a number of years, give us a call. Contact information is on the slide. Send us an email. We'd love to arrange some time with y'all to learn more about your environment, about your processes, and just see if we can help.
Great. Thanks for putting that information up there.
My pleasure. Alrighty. Thanks again, everyone.
Okay, thanks.